So good day everyone and also to our instructor for the subject. So as a group, we will discuss the given topic to us that is we are focused on the economic globalization. The topic that we are going to discuss are first economic globalization and the global trade economic globalization and sustainable development. Third, environment degradation, food security, economic globalization, poverty and inequality, global income inequality, the third world and the global south, the global city, theorists of global stratification. The United States nations tried to address the different problems in the world. Their efforts were guided by the 8 Millennium Development Goals. Among these 8 goals, the extreme poverty and hunger rank as the first. The other 7 goals, achieving universal primary education, promoting gender inequality, and women empowerment, reducing child mortality, improving maternal health, combating disease like HIV, AIDS, and malaria, ensuring environmental sustainability, and having global partnership for development since there are different standards of living around the world. We can expect the different meanings attached to it, but we are going to focus on the poverty, which is a condition characterized by severe deprivation of basic human needs, including food, safe drinking, water, sanitation, facilities, health shelter, education, and information. Most people who have been lifted out of extreme poverty are still poor, and being poor comes with a serious form of disease. The lack of water, income inequality is rampant, and 1 in 7 people still live without electricity. So, why is extreme poverty falling? The answer is this is too really complicated. A set of factors like better access to education, humanitarian aid, and the policies of international organizations. However, the greatest contributor is economic globalization. The world's economies have become more interconnected, and free trade has driven the growth of many developing economies. Economic globalization refers to increasing interdependence of world economies as a result of growing scale of cross-border trade of commodities and services, flow of international capital, wide and rapid spread of technologies. It reflects the continuing expansion and mutual integration of markets frontiers, and it is an irreversible trend for economic development in the whole world. There are two different types of economies associated with economic globalization. First, protectionism and trade liberalization. Protectionism means a policy of systematic government intervention in foreign trade with the objective of encouraging domestic production. This encouragement involves giving preferential treatment to a domestic producers and discriminating against foreign competitors. Trade liberalizations usually comes in a form of quotas and tariffs. Tariffs are required fees on imports or exports. Free trade agreements and a technological advance in transportation and communication means goods and services moves around the world easily than ever. We are talking about everything from shoes and bananas into innovations and ideas. Let us take the mobile phone as an example. Mobile phones seems to have a good consequences for everything, including reducing poverty, single most transformative technology, and also when it comes to developing world, phones gives people an access in banking and payment systems and better education. This information, in some places, mobile phones help farmers get information and get the best price for the crops they are producing. So, globalization made some countries, especially the developing ones, gain more the global economy at the expense to other nations. There are various ways that our country can make trade easier with other counting while lessening the inequities in the global world. One of them is fair trade. So when we say fair trade, it is defined as the concern for the social, economic, and environmental well-being of marginalized small producers. It aims for more moral and equitable global economic system. Especially, it concerned in protection of workers and producers, establishment of more just prices, engagement in environmental sound practices, and sustainable production. So, economic globalization and sustainable development. So it is defined that there are some significant idea to globalize trade and perhaps the strongest argument against the economic globalization. It is lack of sustainability or the degree to which the earth resources can be used for our needs even in the future. Especially the development of our world today by using the earth's resources by the preservation of such sources for the future is called sustainable development. In other words, development has to be ensured into the future of other generations. One significant global response to the economic globalization is that of sustainable development, which seeks to chart a middle path between economic growth in a sustainable environment. Continuous production of the world's natural resources, such as water and fossil fuels, allows humanity to discover and innovate many things. We were able to utilize energy to discover new technologies and make advancement in transportation, communication. However, these positive effects of development put our environment at a disadvantage. First, the climate change accelerated and global inequality was not eradicated. This means that development beneficial at one hand entail costs at the other hand. So next one is environmental degradation. Environmental degradation when the Earth's atmosphere is damaged by more carbon emissions by from factories around the world. Example in destruction of coral reefs and the marine diversity as more and more waste are thrown into the ocean. Def- Deforestation, pollution, climate change will not just focus for us, especially increase in living standards of people, is to demand more consumer goods like cars, meat, smart, and also those smartphones.